been a troublemaker, I've been a late night player, I've been broke as a joke, I've been a money maker, I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator, I've been known to spit the flows and make a shaky, shaky thing, popping, locking, stopping, let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip hop, it's like it stings. We make a whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk, we gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Up jumps the middle finger, make my Jaeger just.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sports Buzz, the Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio. Comcast Cable Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this late October day, October 17th. Seemed almost like a summer day out there. Nice little feedback we get on that. That was interesting. Seemed like a summer day. Dare I say Indian summer, Bob? I don't know if we can use that term anymore with all this conversations about the Redskins not being able to say Redskins anymore and getting rid of their team name. But it did feel like an Indian summer kind of day out there. It was very nice, very lovely day. So we'll see how this weather thing shapes up as it goes on. Bob, of course, having his usual beginning of the show technical difficulties. How are we doing there?
You hear me all right? Okay.
All right, Bob is live and direct.
Yes.
Microphone, no more feedback. How you doing there, Bob?
I'm doing fine.
You've been watching these sporting events that are going crazy. Are you as enthralled as I am with the baseball playoffs?
Oh, yes.
I am, of course, deeply entrenched in the goings-on in the American League Championship Series between the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Before we get to all that, Bob's show Spotlight on Tuesdays at 9, Wednesdays at 12. Anything special to look forward to? You were doing Danbury Fair stuff last week. What do you got going on now?
Just basically the same thing.
All right.
And next week it'll be, I think we're going into 9/11 ceremonies and stuff, so.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that. And of course, Mike Toohey in the studio running things. Expose Cinema, his show Friday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 1 in the afternoon. And his Halloween show is fast approaching. The 23rd, I think it might be.
Yes.
Something like that. We filmed it once. We will be filming it again. Let's just say we had some problems.
Some technical difficulties?
A little technical. It wasn't my fault. But
It wasn't anything you
we
did,
are
right?
reshooting that show. It's a good show, so we'll get it right this time, hopefully, and the viewers out there will enjoy it. All right, Bob. So Red Sox, Tigers, crucial Game 5 tonight in Detroit. The third game of the middle games here in Rock City, Detroit. The series is tied 2-2. The Tigers, of course, looking to win this game to go up 3-2 so they don't have to come back to Boston and win both of them. They would only need to get 1 out of 2 in Fenway if they get this 3-2 lead, and that's what they would certainly like to do. It's a rematch of the Game 1 great pitching duel, and really the whole playoffs have been pitching duel after pitching duel. Sanchez versus Lester. The Tigers almost came up with the combined no-hitter in that Game 1 Saturday night as they brought that into the 9th inning. Daniel Nava broke that up in that Game 1. Sanchez only went 6 innings. He did have 6 walks, struck out 12, so it was kind of a shaky no-hitter effort as it was a combined 5 pitchers trying to get it done. And there was runners on base throughout the game for the Red Sox with all the walks they had, and then with the base hit in the 9th inning. So they were down only 1-0. That PED user, Johnny Peralta, came in and got the lone base hit, lone RBI for the Tigers off Lester for that 1-0 lead, which ultimately was the 1-0 victory, margin of victory. And there we saw Joe West, the umpire, who I believe, I'm not sure if this means he is back behind the plate tonight, if they're gone through their rotation. There are 6 umpires in these playoff games, not 4. I don't know if those outfield umpires also get a turn behind home plate.
I think the rotation.
Does it include the whole 6?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I would like that because Joe West was an absolute disgrace in Game 1. There was plenty of arguing going on. The strike zone was liberal, to say the least, and he really, was giving the Tigers. I couldn't believe it. Early in that game, I was like, the home team is absolutely getting jobbed, and the umpires are doing their thing right off the bat in a Game 1 of a series, trying to take control. For the most part, since then, the umpiring has been, pretty evenly distributed with some bad calls here and there, but nothing spectacular. Last night, of course, was the first poorly pitched game, really. And everybody's jumping on Peavy. The midseason trade, the Red Sox traded Jose Iglesias over to the Tigers, and, everybody questioned this move, that they sent there. But Peavy has been great for the Red Sox down the stretch. And he was great in the Tampa series as they closed them out last week. And he had the closeout game, pitched very well. Last night he was undone by his control, walking 3 guys in that crucial second inning. But 1 run in after he walked Austin Jackson, who had been dropped to the 8th hole. Big move by Jim Leyland that was heavily talked about. He shook up his batting lineup. He dropped his number 1 guy, leadoff man, to the 8th hole, and that paid off. But he walked him to draw in the first run, but then he got the double play ball, Bob, and I haven't heard anybody talking about this. Everybody just talked about Peavy all day today, how terrible he was. He's out of that inning at 1-0 if Dustin Pedroia comes up with the double play ball. It was a routine double play ball that he booted. Mm-hmm. And they got 1 out on the play, but they did not get out of the inning.
Right.
And then Torrey Hunter comes up with the double. Miguel Cabrera comes up with a hit, and all of a sudden 5 runs are on the board instead of 1. That's a completely different game. And, that was really the crucial part of the thing. Peavy, had to throw the extra pitches after that as well, which is always a factor. He did get chased in the 4th when he gave up another run, and he was responsible for all 7 runs that came in as they lost 7-3. The encouraging thing about last night's game was the fact that the Red Sox actually out-hit the Tigers 12-9 in this game, and hits have been at a minimum, especially for the Red Sox, who are not really batting very well. They've been coming up with clutch hits. See Game 2, David Ortiz, 8th inning, grand slam, as we've seen those images fly by.
That was
Torrey
a bomb.
Hunter, it was a laser shot, really. Full-blown line drive into right field, into the pitcher's bullpen, Red Sox bullpen. Torrey Hunter dives, bangs into the wall. We had that shot up a couple times already where his feet are in the air.
And
the police officer is with his hands up cheering the home run. Unbelievable, because they were losing 5-1 in this game. The bats were quiet again. Pedroia came up with the big hit to keep that inning going and load the bases. And really, I thought it was Pedroia, after he gets the pitch, after he gets the hit to load the bases. Poppy, who had looked terrible in the first 2 games, striking out a lot. Pedroia's reaction as he yells into Ortiz, stepping up into the base, "Come on, David," basically demanding that he does something. And on the first pitch, Bob, laser shot. So that was highly dramatic. What a sports day in Boston it was on Sunday. As earlier in the day, 4 hours earlier, Tom Brady leads the great comeback with 5 seconds left against the New Orleans Saints for that victory. 4 hours later, when it looks like the Red Sox are going down 2-0, heading to Detroit, and all is lost, they come up with the grand slam in the 8th inning, and then Saltalamacchia drives in Johnny Gomes with the winning run in the 9th for the walk-off victory, 6-5 in Game 2. And Game 3 on Tuesday, John Lackey, I'll tell you what, all the chicken and beer he wants after that performance. I'd go buy him a meal and get as many beers for him as he can handle. 1-0, he outduels Verlander in Detroit in Game 3. He came up with the goods, and Mike Napoli came up with the big solo home run in the 7th inning. So another tense 1-0 game in this series, as pitching has really been tremendous. The starting pitchers for the Tigers, Bob, 42 strikeouts through 4 games. And that doesn't include what the bullpen has done as well. So the strikeout total is even higher than that. I think one thing I've been worried about all along since the playoffs started were how many days off the Red Sox had.
Right.
At the end of the regular season. They had 4 games off before the Tampa series started. They finished that series in 4.
Right.
Then they get 3 more games off. They basically played 4 games in 12 days before this Detroit series started. They had the first 2 games, and then they get another day off before heading to Detroit. So I was looking for the bats to break out last night because I figured maybe they were finally in a rhythm of playing, at least 4 games in 5 days, not the everyday situation you get during the regular season. Remember how hot their bats were at the end of the regular season. But all those days off, I really feel like maybe has taken them out of their rhythm, and they've been trying to find it. Of course, in the playoffs, they're going up against great pitching. I despise Tampa Bay, but they do have good pitching.
Yes.
In those final 2 games in Tampa, they did come up with the win in Game 4, but they didn't really hit very well in those 2 games. So they get a little off track by Tampa's pitching. Then they get 3 more days off. Then they come in and face who will be the Cy Young winner, Max Scherzer in Game 2. Sanchez led the league in strikeouts, I believe. So they're going up against top-flight pitching, and they haven't been playing every day. So I'm looking, maybe they can build off last night, even though they lost 7-3. They had the 12 hits, which I find important. And I think maybe that can help them tonight as they see Sanchez for a second time now in the series. Maybe they get to him and they get to come home up 3-2 instead of down 2-3. That would be huge. And I mentioned Jim Leyland had the big move dropping Austin Jackson, who was mired in a huge slump. I didn't see the lineup for tonight. I don't know if he's sticking with that. I would imagine he would be. Torrey Hunter, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, the former Red Sox. They can't get him out. He's been really lighting it up in the postseason. Tremendous hitter. Remember, he was out last year when the Tigers went to the World Series. That was a big problem for them as they didn't get that extra bat. Johnny Peralta, what do you think about this, Bob? I have issue with this whole thing. These guys who are suspended for the rest of the season. The season ends, and they come back and they play in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not right.
No.
If you're gone because you're using steroids, you're using PEDs, whatever, you're gone.
Right.
Why do you get to come back?
It's not for not for a playoff.
How do you
World
think
Series
Oakland feels about this? They were up 2-1 looking to close out the Tigers, and Peralta hits a 3-run homer to tie that series and send it to Game 5 where Verlander did his thing against Oakland. And a mention on Oakland, Bob, how do their fans, how do they deal with this? They are 1-12 now in closeout games since 2000 in the playoffs.
That's rough.
That is rough. And 0-7 in winner take all. So they've had chances where they weren't in a Game 5 or a Game 7 where they could have closed the series early and they didn't come up with it. And then when it comes down to that final game, winner advance, they've never won one of these games since 2000. Brutal for the A's as they blew that 2-1 series lead against Detroit. Peralta, the PEDer, comes up with that big 3-run homer. They were dead in that game. They were dead in that series. And he's back in the lineup. And he's been the hottest hitter for the Tigers, even hotter than Miggy. He's getting all the hits. So I find that to be highly suspect. I think it's completely ridiculous that goes on. So we'll see what happens tonight. Crucial Game 5. And there we see Victor Martinez, who's been very, very clutch, very hot. I did not like it when the Red Sox traded him. But, it's going to be a good game tonight. Lester, overlooked in that 1-0 loss in Game 1 was his performance. He pitched great. So we'll see. The big question mark I will have going forward, there's obviously going to be a Game 6 no matter what happens tonight. Buchholz has seemed to wear down in the later innings. He pitched great against Tampa, but in the later innings, he gave up the 3-run homer to Longoria. And then he melted down in the 6th inning against Detroit in Game 2. So you got to watch out for him late innings. He is coming off the injury. He has only pitched about 5-6 games, I think, since he came back. So he might not be full stamina. And then if it comes down to Game 7, Bob, John Lackey, as good as he has been this year and as good as he was in Game 3, it's going to be nerve-wracking time. And if it comes to a Game 7 Lackey versus Verlander in Fenway, he has pitched tremendous, better at home. They did shuffle that rotation. It was Lackey in Game 2 in the Tampa series. They moved him back because he had had success in Detroit, and that paid off as well. That'll be nerve-wracking time if it comes down to that, facing Verlander in a Game 7. Hopefully the Red Sox take care of business tonight and Buchholz can shut it down and end it in Game 6. The time on that game is yet to be determined, as we will wait and see what happens in the National League Series. If the Dodgers can extend to a Game 7, the Red Sox will play Game 6 in Fenway at 4 o'clock. Look out for those late-day shadows.
Yes.
We've seen historical games played in the postseason in October there where the shadow in right field comes into play, sun shining right in the outfielder's eyes. So we will see if it's a 4 o'clock or if it's an 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
If the Cardinals can eliminate the Dodgers tomorrow night, Friday night.
We could have a replay of 2004.
If the Red Sox can face them. But if the Cardinals eliminate the Dodgers, then the Red Sox will play Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Cardinals looking to avoid what happened to them last year, Bob, against the other California team, San Francisco, as they were up 3-1 against the Giants and blew that. Ended up losing, and the Giants went on to win the World Series. The Dodgers kept themselves alive last night with the long ball. They had not hit a home run yet in the series until last night. They get 2 from Adrian Gonzalez. They get a bomb from Carl Crawford. Crawdaddy goes about 460 on his home run, and Ellis hit one as well. So 4 home runs from the Dodgers last night to extend as they win 6-4. More pitching, great action going on in this series. Do you realize it was the first time ever on Saturday when in Game 1, it was 1-0, or it was Game 2 actually of that series, where the Cardinals-Dodgers early in the afternoon go 1-0 game, Cardinals win, and then late in the night, it's the Red Sox-Tigers 1-0. First time ALCS, NLCS had 1-0 games happen on the same day. So that was really pitching duels all day long. 3-2 in 13 innings. Cardinals won Game 1, 1-0 Game 2, 3-0. The Dodgers came back when they went home, but then they blew that game 4-2, Game 4, and then they came back last night with Greinke pitching. He chipped in with his bat as well, as he had an RBI early in that game. So they get Crenshaw for the Dodgers, who will probably be the Cy Young in game number 6 here as they try to extend to a 7th game. So with Crenshaw going, obviously they have a good chance, but they're going against this young kid, Waka, who has been really lights out in the postseason. We saw what he did to Pittsburgh, St. Louis, as they came back against the Pirates, and, we'll see. Kershaw, of course, went on short rest against the Braves to close them out. That almost backfired, but they got it done. We mentioned Oakland's futility in the new century here. How about the Braves, Bob? 0-7, I believe it is, in postseasons since 2000. And they also, remember, lost the 1-game wild card playoff game last year. So if you count that, that's 0-8. Braves fans, yipes. Not good for Atlanta. So baseball has been out of control, intense, wild stuff going on. It's going to continue tonight, I would imagine. And then through the weekend, we'll see how long it goes. Will we get a couple Game 7s? Will we only go 6? We will find out, and it'll be outrageous, and we will talk about it next week, of course. NFL, Patriots at the Jets this weekend as this rivalry series wraps up early. Before the turn into November. They're getting this thing done early on. And we mentioned earlier in the show, unbelievable. Patriots basically blow this game against the Saints with their conservative play calling in the second half. Josh McDaniel, no big fan. I am. I thought he was ridiculous after they got the interception. Then they could have gone for the touchdown to try to ice this game late, and he went conservative. They're afraid to throw in the end zone. I don't know what's going on with that. So they kicked a field goal that kept the Saints in it, and Drew Brees delivers the touchdown pass. We saw that photo just a second ago, right over the outstretched hands. There it is, of the Patriot defender. How he did not get a hand on it, I will never know. That was pretty outrageous. And the Saints go up by 1, I think, at that point. And then the Patriots inexplicably really go for it on 4th down, Bob.
And it was a beautiful pass.
2.5. Well, no, before that, 2.5 minutes left. Down deep in their own end. They go for it on 4th down with all their timeouts left. and they don't get it, and the defense holds the Saints to a field goal, so they're up 4. Patriots somehow, some way, get the ball twice.
Yeah.
In like 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, they somehow get the ball back twice. Brady throws an interception on the first possession. The Saints get a little cute with their offense, and the Patriots use their timeouts beautifully. They use the 2-minute warning beautifully, and somehow they end up with the ball back with 1:20 left, no timeouts, and Brady, bang, 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 down the field. He delivers the touchdown pass to Kenbrell Tompkins in the back of the end zone with 5 seconds left. It's pandemonium in Foxborough. Gillette Stadium, unbelievable. The Razor came unglued up there as he comes back, and Brady delivers the goods to the rookie wide receiver in the back of the end zone. Just, really my first thought was Red Sox down 1-0. I was quite pleased because I know how things work in the sports world, and sometimes a city's momentum from an earlier event that day can lead to something spectacular that night, and that's what happened with Big Papi in the Grand Slam. So I was thinking great for the win, but also great for the Red Sox and the city just going crazy and look for something big to happen in that game, which it did. So, but the big news really out of this game, Bob, I hate to pour water on this celebration. The Patriots defense is where I have been watching all year long, and they are 4th in the league in defense right now, playing extremely well. I was getting a little concerned when Vince Wilfork went down for the season with the Achilles injury. My concern level is now through the roof because Gerard Mayo is out for the season on a play really that didn't look like much. Tore a pectoral muscle, something like that. Surgery ending his season, and he is the team captain, team leader, has led the team in tackles for the last 4 or 5 years, and he's leading, of course, this year as well. Middle linebacker. I don't know that this defense is going to overcome the loss of Wilfork and Mayo. Wilfork and Mayo, there's got to be a joke in there somewhere. I'm not in a joking mood about this, however. So this is a big blow. And of course, Aqib Talib also went out with a hip injury.
Right.
They have not really said how serious that is. No word on that yet this week. He has not practiced, didn't practice yesterday. I don't know if he practiced today. So that is worth watching as well because he is the top secondary defensive player. So the defense, which has been tremendous so far this year, taking on big blows. Danny Amendola, oh, what a shock. He played about half a game before getting hurt again as he was out on his feet, lights out, drilled to the temple, helmet to helmet. Everybody says it wasn't his cheap shot. I don't know, it was helmet to helmet on the sideline, and he was done. So I don't know, he's out. They did pick up off the scrap heap Austin Collie, who ended up with 2 big catches on that final drive for the touchdown. So he's going to step in, former Colt. And Gronk, I don't know. Last week they said he was playing automatically. If you remember, I said he was playing, and he did not play. Nobody making that big leap of faith this week, saying that he is playing. So I don't know what his deal is. He's practiced every day this year, yet he can't play. Jets, of course, they were riding high at 3-2. Now they're riding low at 3-3.
Yeah.
As unlike your New York Football Giants, the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to get off the mat, Bob, at 0-4. Come up with a defensive effort against those Jets. 16-9 in the Meadowlands. They beat them 19-6. I mean, they beat them. And the Jets fall to 3-3.
Sexy Rexy is not doing so good.
No, not pleased either, and he was not in a friendly mood this week as the media pointed out to him that he has lost 5 straight to the Patriots. And does it feel like he has actually been kissing Belichick's rings lately? And he said no. Big news before the game last week. Maybe we know how Kellen Winslow got back in the league this year and has been contributing. He is suspended for 4 games for PED use. I thought that was a big blow to the team. And Santonio Holmes also out. Goodson, the running back who came back for 1 game after his 4-game suspension for his drugs and guns and all the stuff he had in the offseason. He hurt his knee. He's out for the year, which I don't know if it's a big blow because he hadn't been playing anyways. But Holmes and Winslow out. 2 weapons for Geno gone right now. I'm not sure how long Holmes is going to be out, so that's a big blow. We'll see what happens with the Patriots heading into New York this weekend. We will see. Willie Colon, of course, making news. The former Steeler, now Jet, was suspended at the end of that game, or fined at least for the fight he had at the end of the first Patriots Jets game. Says, I hate them. All right, big news there. A Jet, former Steeler, hates the Patriots.
Right.
Don't find that all too shocking. All right, let's run through the NFL real quick, Bob. In the Northern Division, Bengals up top, 4-2. Ravens, Browns, 3-3. Ravens play the Steelers this weekend. Steelers trying to revive their season. In the South, Colts, 4-2. Big loss in San Diego as they get ready to face the Broncos and Peyton Manning in that Sunday night showdown. But they came up lame out there in San Diego. Titans, 3-3 as they're dealing with the QB injury.
Right. And
Texas falling apart. Texans, 2-4. West, Chiefs and Broncos remain 6-0. That's all we need to know out there. East, Cowboys, Eagles tied 3-3, and they do play in Philly this weekend.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick is still out.
No, great loss.
I don't believe so. If you check my fantasy team, you'll see that I picked up Foles out of the scrap heap, and I probably am going to play him this weekend over Tony Romo. In the Northern Division, in the NFC, Lions, Bears tied 4-2. Packers had the bye week. They are 3-2. So that's what's happening there. Vikings, of course, struggling mightily. They face your Giants this weekend on Monday night, and Josh Freeman will be the QB.
We don't even want to talk about that.
0-6, Bob. 0-6. How many interceptions did Eli throw on? 3 more? 2 more?
2 more in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter. I think it was 3 total.
Yeah.
Pick 6 early, pick late, as they looked like maybe they were going to come up with the win down 6. They were driving, not so much.
No.
The Bears come up with the win. In the South, the Saints finally lose. They fall from the unbeaten ranks, 5-1. West, Seahawks 5-1. Niners 4-2. Rams and Cards 3-3. Everybody at 500 or above. Seattle at Arizona tonight. Cincy at Detroit's kind of a big game. Buffalo at Miami. Miami had the bye week. We'll see if they recover. If they've lost 2 in a row. Chicago at Washington. Minnesota at the Giants on Monday night. College football real quick. UConn lost 13-10 USF. Penn State 4-0 thriller against Michigan. Knocked Michigan from the unbeaten. Missouri ends Georgia's fleeting championship hopes 41-26. Oregon survives. Clemson survives as they get ready to face Florida State in a big game of unbeatens this weekend. Utah knocked Stanford from the unbeaten. And actually, a quick note on that Clemson game. My entire family was there. As I have family living down there. My niece is basically in Clemson. That's a long story. We don't have time to finish that, but she is.
How's your Colorado State doing?
Oh, they broke my heart this weekend. I was screaming bloody murder on Saturday as they blew homecoming. Not pleased. Auburn has moved into the top 25, Bob, and they play A&M this weekend. So that is really only 2 big games this weekend. Auburn at A&M, Florida State at Clemson. And the credits are rolling. We are out.